Good morning. I'm Brett Lewis from L4 Group, and today we're going to be talking about propane delivery. And I have with me the president of RFO, who also happens to be the vice president of the Carbon County Builders Association, Steve Ohl. Good morning, Steve. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well, thanks. So, Steve, we're going to be talking about propane delivery, but you guys actually got started delivering oil. Can you give our viewers a little backstory about RFO?
Sure. I always start the story off with the comment that every oil and propane company seems to have come from somewhere doing something else, and it morphed into that. We were no different. We started drilling water wells in the early 80s, and my dad had delivered heating oil in his previous career, and he was going through about 150 gallons of diesel a day in our 12-cylinder deck engine on the well drilling rig. And he thought, this is crazy. I can go get my own oil. I know how to deliver it. So he started picking up his own diesel fuel, and his old customers saw him on the truck, and they kept asking him, can you deliver heating oil to my house? So he found out what he had to do, and then when the seasons would change, and turn to winter, we weren't drilling too many water wells, so he'd go out and deliver heating oil. That started in 1984, and the customers, every time customers would ask, about different things, my dad was the type of person he'd see if he could help them out, and so in 2002 we built our bulk storage facility for propane, and we started delivering propane in January of 2003. And customers really liked the convenience of having two products and being able to service that. And we have been selling fireplaces and space heaters, so it was a natural fit when customers would buy those. They could get propane from us, so it was like one call did everything for them. They didn't have to call around and get different things, and we were really easy to deal with, and we still are. We pride ourselves in being very accessible. So then we got into doing HVAC installations and service, and retractable awnings, and we opened up what I call a full-blown hearth and patio showroom with patio furniture, barbecue grills. That's at our current location in Heighton. And we've also added another one in Effort. We had purchased Fisheries heating and air conditioning in October of 2014, and so we kind of been trying to do everything that revolves around energy and taking care of people's home comfort needs. So that's how we ended up kind of where we are today, and taking care of the customers we have, and we're centered, like I said, around energy and home comfort.
That's awesome. So I think it's safe to say you guys are to be you're considered experts in the home energy and fuel field. So let's specifically talk about propane. Now, to start off, if someone is moving into a house, let's say, and propane is the main fuel source, and that person's never dealt with propane before, can you give some advice on what they should be looking for in establishing a new relationship with a propane delivery company?
Yeah, and it's funny, I get asked this question a lot because people know that I'm in propane, and when friends move into different locations, they could be in a different state or anything, they'll call me or they'll Facebook me or something and say, hey, what do you know about it, or what should I do? And the advice that I always give everyone is, you want to check out, does your propane company you're looking for actually have its own storage? That is a big deal. Come wintertime, if your propane company runs out of propane, sometimes it's very hard to source propane if you don't have storage, or you don't have enough storage to get by a couple days, just if there's a supply disruption. So at RFO, we have our own on-site storage, and we have enough to get by for quite a while without depending on a delivery. The other thing is, look for how convenient they are to deal with. The propane company that you're choosing, you're probably, if you're watching this video, you're probably somewhat computer savvy and you're looking for conveniences. So Do they take online payments? Can you order online? Are you accessible, by all forms of communication, including, like social media? Are they insured? That's another big item, is, if something were to happen, do they have their own insurance? Do they belong to local and state associations? Are they involved in the community? That's another big, sign, to check for if they are actually involved in like the National Propane Gas Association, state gas associations, or even, like the Carbon Builders Association, local trade organizations, things like that, because those type of propane companies will usually be educators to the community of what propane's about. Do they help the local fire companies, things like that with training? I know at RFO we're actively involved in helping everyone, or if anybody has questions, we'll take the time to give them a rundown or training on how things work. Do they have the certifications they need? There's different levels of training out there. Just one of them is it's called CTEP, and all drivers, from drivers to office staff to service technicians that work on propane, should go through those trainings. The other big thing is take the time to look up an online presence for complaints. Some companies have entire blogs and things centered around the complaints, and that's it's kind of disheartening to the propane industry when companies don't take the time to give the customer service that the customers really deserve. And at RFO, we pride ourselves on customer service. So, definitely look for those kind of things in in a propane company. And you're more than welcome to call us anytime with a question, even if we're not in our service area. We'll gladly either try and help you find somebody, or just give you some advice. Advice is free.
Yeah, that's awesome, and it's not like hiring a painter, coming in to do a job in your house. I mean, you're dealing with propane. It's a material that could cause some harm. So you want to make sure that you're dealing with a reputable company.
Yeah, you definitely want to have safety in mind, and that's one thing that we're always conscious of, is safety and respecting people's property, and making sure that everything is done to code and done correctly.
Exactly. So now, what about the propane tank? This might sound like a silly question, but who owns the tank, and how does that whole thing work?
Yeah, that's sometimes a mystery. Customers call, and they'll call us and say, "Hey, I need a propane delivery." And the first question we ask them is, is there a tank on site? Since they're a new customer, and they may say, "Yes, I have a tank." Well, then the next step is really to find out whose tank it is. So if the home was just purchased and there was actually a bill of sale for the propane tank, that's an easy one. Then you just have to have a copy of that on file, and then we can deliver propane to a customer-owned tank. That's important. I always tell people it's like a car title. You want to save that bill of sale, because without that, no other propane company will fill a customer-owned tank, because it's actually against code to fill another company's propane tank without their permission. So as long as you have a bill of sale showing that you own the tank, there's no issues, and then you just have to give a copy of that to your propane supplier. If the tank is owned by another propane company, then you either have to have that company deliver to it, or you would have to call a new propane company, and then they would come, move the tank to the side, put their tank into place, and then you would have to call the other propane company and have them come pick it up. Now, typically, most propane tanks are marked with, who owns the tank. There'll be a sticker or a decal or sometimes a metal plate on the tank. So when you do buy a home and there's an existing tank, it's pretty easy to go out and check it. So then, then the next step is that, say, for instance, we came out and set a propane tank for you, then we would, like I said, take care of all that. We can even call the other company if you want us to, and let them know that, that tank needs to be picked up for you. So it's kind of what you have to go through when you purchase a home with an existing tank or not having a tank.
Sure, sure. So it's a little bit different than heating oil from that perspective.
Yeah, with heating oil, the customers always own the tank because it's inside the home.
Yeah.
When it's a propane situation outside, you always want to check with your homeowner's insurance too, because some homeowners policies do charge you extra if you own the propane tank, just to cover the liability side. Because remember, once you own the tank, you're pretty much taking on all the liability. Any damage that happens to the tank, the regulators, the valves, things like that would need to be replaced. That's pretty much on the homeowner, and then you would end up paying somebody to do that. If the propane company owns the tank, like if RFO owns the propane tank, we would maintain it, paint it. Anything goes wrong, or something's malfunctioning on that tank, we would remove it, replace it, repair it, whatever needs to be done, and there'd be no charge to the customer.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. So now let's talk about ordering propane. Is there anything special that someone needs to do to place the order? Do they need to prepare their home in any kind of manner? Do they need to be home, to deliver or to accept the delivery?
The first time that we would make a delivery to the home, if we've never been there, yes, they would need to be home, because again, it's another code that you're supposed to do a leak test anytime there's been either a sale of a home, a renter moves in and out of a home, or a new installation, or a first time fill. So if we've never been there, we're going to want to do a leak test on the system, and or if we're there for the first time setting up a propane tank, then yes, you would, definitely the homeowners would have to be home, because there's things that we're going to want to run down and make sure they're aware of what to do, keeping the site free from debris and other things so that you can actually make a delivery, because you are dragging a hose from the propane delivery truck to the propane tanks. You're going to want to maintain a clear path, have it accessible, make sure that if you have pets or other things that you may tie out, make sure that they're not able to reach the propane tank, so that your guy, your delivery person can make a delivery. And then just we would make sure that the site's prepared properly and set up. Every propane tank is set on blocks. You can't just set it right into the dirt. So there's usually cement blocks that are solid blocks we'll bring out and set the propane tank on those. Set everything up. There's certain distances and code requirements that you have to be from, say, outdoor air conditioning units, ignition sources like barbecue grills, other things like that, windows and doors. So all that kind of site prep work, it's definitely best to be home the first time we come out. And actually, we do require people to be home. It's that way everything is explained all up front. Everybody knows what's going on.
Very cool. Very cool. So now, I know you guys offer some great, service and delivery plans. And can you touch on that? Touch on, some of the fees that maybe, customers have experienced with other companies, and how that looks, under RFO?
Yeah, we do not charge delivery fees, hazmat fees, show up fees, or tank rentals. There's a I think everybody's been feed out. The airline industry started, I guess, and there's kind of like, why don't you just charge us what you're supposed to charge us, instead of tacking on all these fees and making the offer look attractive at first until we get a delivery. We've had customers call us and say, hey, I'm getting charged anywhere from $5 per delivery to $30 per delivery, and it just it really gets under their skin, and I can understand why. Every time you get a new bank statement or something, there's some kind of fee on those things. So we don't charge those extra fees that other companies charge. We have a lot of plans, and most of them are just a value-added item that we put on our deliveries that are there for the customer to use. We have automatic delivery. If you heat with your propane, we can put you on automatic delivery. We'll just show up automatically and keep your tank full. You don't have to worry about it. Then there's customers that like to call. If they call us at 30% on their propane tank gauge, we'll definitely get to them, and they won't run out of propane. That's another big thing. We hear a lot of companies let other people run out of propane, and the customer's never really informed on when they should call, or they kind of get attitude when they do call. So we love when our customers call and say, hey, I'm at 30%, or I'm at 20%, whatever the delivery is. Let us know what your tank's at. We usually ask our customers to call us at 30% if they're on will call. That way it gives us plenty of time to get there and make a delivery. We also have easy pay plans where you can split up your deliveries for the whole season monthly. So typically you get your bulk of your deliveries within a 6-month period. And if you think of it like a home mortgage, you don't pay your mortgage in 6 months, you pay it over a whole year. So we offer the same plan, and that's a totally free plan to participate in. We just split up your payments over 12 months so that you're not hit with those higher bills for propane deliveries in the middle of winter. We also have what we call a flex plan. It's a propane flex plan for low volume users, because in the propane industry, in order for the propane company to make a profit, they actually have to deliver a certain amount of gallons. So we actually have what we call a propane flex plan for low volume users who are like cooking accounts and maybe seasonal fireplaces, things like that, which is a great benefit to the customer, because there again they can pay that monthly. They even get up to 50 gallons free with the plan of propane to use. So we don't frown upon low volume users at RFO. Some companies, they won't even talk to consumers once they hear they're using 50 gallons or less a year. So if you're a low volume user, we definitely have a plan for you. So and we're pretty flexible on what we do. We also offer like price cap protection and fixed price plans. We have online ordering. All different kinds of things to make it easy and convenient to have delivery and service.
That's very good. And what about your service area? Where do you deliver propane to?
We deliver propane basically in about a 50-mile radius of Lehighton. We're covering approximate 210 zip codes right now. We do 5 counties: Carbon County, Monroe County, Lehigh County, Northampton County, and Schuylkill County. We touch in a couple other counties, so if you're in an area and you're interested in having our service, just give us a call. We'll gladly let you know if we can help you out.
Awesome. So Steve, first off, thanks for sharing all this great information about propane with our viewers. And can you give us your contact info, so if somebody does want to order propane, they know how to get a hold of you, and they know what, if they want to come into your store. Give us your locations as well as your online info.
Sure. We have 2 locations. If you would prefer to just walk in and ask some questions, we're at the 400 Interchange Road, Lehighton, PA. That's right next to Wentz's Auto Body. We also have another location that's at 2625 through 115 in Effort, PA, right up from the Effort light. And you can just walk in and ask questions, place an order. The other thing is you can give us a call. That's 610-377-1098. And a live person does answer the phone 24 hours a day. The other thing is you can email us. The email is info@rfohl.com. You can go on our website, www.rfohl.com. And we also have a fast forms on there where you can fill out a form and request information, and we'll get that. We're active on Twitter and Facebook, and there's links for that on the website as well. So we try to be open, to any form of communication that you're using. So let us know if there's something new we don't know about, but I think we have most of them covered.
That's awesome. And all that contact info is in the description below this video as well. So if you didn't catch that, just take a look down there. The link to the website, the social platforms, the phone number, all that stuff is there. So again, Steve, thanks for taking time out of your day to talk about propane. And I'm sure we'll be talking about this topic again in the future.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Take care.